Okay, cutting mitered hardwood edge boards to frame a plywood panel. This is how I go about it. First of all, you got to size your panel, and this one is 23.5 by 41.5. And when it's finished out, it's going to be 48 by 30. All right, so these pieces are, right now they're a strong 3 1/4. I think they actually measure 3.5 even. So what I've done here is laid out the way I want the boards to wrap the top. So you can see these two boards are overlapped only by about 1/2 inch, and that's because they came from the same board. And the same with these two up here. This one's got to scoot up a little bit. These two also came from the same board. So I want to keep this mitered corner and this mitered corner in that orientation, and then they'll meet at the opposite corners. So what I do is I'm going to take and start with this corner here. Then I'm going to do this one, and I'm going to make a mark here, knowing that that's the way I want to cut that miter, and that's the way that one needs to go. Same thing up here, this way and this way. Okay. Now the other thing I also do while I've got it set up like this, incidentally I've got blocks underneath the plywood top here, so it's raised up a little bit, so that it allows me to stack these boards and still be able to see how they relate to these edges. And it looks really good on all four sides. But this one here, I've got just the tiniest gap, but when I do that, I can close it up. So if I can close it with hand pressure, then I'm not going to worry about straightening this edge anymore. So that's it, we're good to go. I'm going to take these two and cut them, and these two and cut them. Check the orientation after I do that, and see how they mate, and then I'll fine tune them on my shooting board, and I'll show you that after I make these cuts. So I think I've got room here. I'm pretty sure I do. And once the panel can stay in place. Once I get the boards out of the way, I'll be okay. Oh, the other thing that you'll notice here is the corners that I've marked, I also have them numbered 4 and 4. And the reason the 4 is on there is because that's how this board came off of this one right here. Just like that. Same with that one down. I like to use a hand screw clamp just to keep the board from migrating as you're going through the blade. And you'll get much better results that way. So I got this board kicked over this way for this corner, as close to cutting it right at that corner as I can. That's where I want to start anyway. Okay, let's just do a quick check and see how we did here. And I am open about a 32nd, I would guess, up here on top. So that's what I have to true up with my shooting board, and I'll do that I'll show you that when I get to that point. So my miter gauge is off a little bit, or something's going on here, but that's all right. That's why I use the shooting board. So all right, I'm going to start with the shorter board first because it's easier to control. But you can see what I'm going to do here is I bring that board up and touch the inside part of the miter, and then check the outside. And if everything is correct, I guess, that should be about half the air, and it looks like it is. So I'm going to take and work this edge first. And you just keep going until right about there I felt like I got a cut all the way along that edge. I'm going to go one more time here. And then when you check it, you can see the difference in the color. And I just left a little bit right there. You see that little white spot there? So one more should clean all of it up, I think. Yep, and that did it. Okay, so that's a nice clean miter, and hopefully it'll match the long one after I do that the same way. Checking it. It appears as though I'm about half, that when I shoot this one I should match up just perfect. Now because this board is so long, you've got to be a little careful so that you don't let this get away from you. One more cut. Okay. I'll bring the camera over here and we'll check this miter.